Hey, what's up guys? A lot of you wanted me to review this video by Talon Fitness called Organ Meats Ranked. Let's do it.
Hello everybody, this is Talon with another nutrition tier list, a series where I break down all the options in a given food group and rank them based on how nutritious they are and how good they are for your health. Today we have another surprisingly highly requested one, that being organ meats, also known as offal or offal. Look, I've heard it pronounced both ways and I'm probably going to...
Yeah, it's very appealing to hear that you should eat something that's pronounced as awful.
Say it both ways today. Anyway, with the resurgence of what's called nose-to-tail eating, basically eating the whole animal, organ meats are now a viable option on many more people's plates. And as it turns out, there's a lot more than just what we think of as meat. Think about every internal organ in your body that you ever discussed in your anatomy class.
Yes, the organs have an actually good taste. Not that muscle meat doesn't taste good, but muscle meat is like dog food. You can eat it if there's nothing else, but it's not something that you should base your diet on. Again, it doesn't have a bad taste, but it also doesn't really have much of a real taste. It depends on the animal. Some animals, such as alligators, the muscle meat actually tastes pretty good, but when it comes to the farmed animals of today, it's usually just kind of bland for the most part, whereas the organs have an actually really good taste, especially liver, brain, spleen. It's actually very appetizing to eat the organs. The muscle meat is all right.
Pretty much every animal eaten on a regular basis is going to have one of those, if not more. And while they may lack in relative accessibility and good taste, they are famous for excelling in one area. And conveniently, that's the only one I really care about right now.
The availability is true, and the taste is also true today, because depending on where you live, probably 80, if not even over 90% of the animals will be toxic, heavily medicated, horrible diets. The liver is going to taste bitter, it's going to have an off taste, and that goes for all of the organs. The brain is usually safer because of the blood-brain barrier. Not that much bad can get to it compared to the liver.
Organ meats are alarmingly nutritious, some to the point that their overconsumption can be dangerous. Just assume that...
No. I wonder if he will get into this, because there's no proof for that.
This extreme nutrient content makes a lot of sense given what these organs are there to do. Now, it isn't all sunshine. As I said, organ meats are extreme by nature, which can lead to some issues. But one thing to for sure be aware of is that they're generally high in purines, which can increase uric acid levels, so they're probably best avoided if you're pregnant, have gout, or have a history with kidney stones.
They're best to be avoided if you're pregnant. That's literally the first food that pregnant women always get in nature. And of course, throughout the pregnancy also, especially liver, because you're not going to have a properly, naturally well-developed child if you don't get enough vitamin A. It's impossible. And even decades ago, all the doctors told women to eat a lot of liver. Now they say never eat liver, even though when you're pregnant, your body very severely craves liver, especially if you've given your body a taste of it. Of course, your body can't crave something that it doesn't know. But if you ever had liver, these cravings will right away come back. Besides this, uric acid is a natural metabolite. It's an antioxidant also. He doesn't even know what he's talking about.
But beyond that, most people probably wouldn't hurt from developing a taste for offal in moderation. So, looking at the tiers for this video, we're going to be comparing the nutrient content and benefits of each organ meat against any shortcomings or health concerns that they may have. Keep in mind that these lists are ranked independent of each other, so an A-tier organ meat may not equate to an A-tier fruit, or even an A-tier regular meat. All numerical nutritional...
Right. They don't compare to fruits in any way at all, in any dimension anyway.
Also, everything we're talking about today will be based on the foods being cooked because you probably don't want to eat them raw. And also because I'm sure
you do want to eat them raw. If it comes from healthy animals.
So I'm not alone in my curiosity. Let me know which of these you've had before, what you thought of them, how you prepared them, really just anything you think might be...
I've had all of them. The blood, the organs, the glands. I've slaughtered and butchered whole animals myself. I've tried everything. Some stuff, such as the stomach, I don't actually eat fully, but I've tried it. I tried everything just to know how it tastes.
Good to know for someone trying it for the first time. But now I think it's time we learn what's inside the insides, so let's get to the list. First up, beef brain is a somewhat higher calorie organ meat with a standard micronutrient profile. It's a solid source.
If you eat brain and liver for vitamin C and all the B vitamins, and brain for everything that's fat soluble, then you're good to go. You're gonna be super healthy. Whatever else you eat is not that important if you eat brain and liver. Of course, you should eat a good diet overall, but as long as you get that, you're gonna be nutritionally completely covered.
Of vitamin B12 and phosphorus, as well as choline, a not vitamin that regulates mood, memory, and other brain functions, and carnosine, which is shown
A lot of people have a choline deficiency today.
to improve exercise performance. However, most interestingly, brain is considered the best organ meat for omega-3s, mainly DHA, docosahexaene.
Yes, it's the best food out of all, better than any fish for DHA. For people who have any kind of brain problems, memory problems, Alzheimer's, that's what I always say. 99% of the cases on Earth would be gone if they would start eating brain. It's a miracle food.
Nucleic acid, which aids the health of your brain, heart, eyes, and more. And the brain, being a very unique organ, contains many components that are considered beneficial. Phosphatidylserine, a phospholipid that supports cognitive function, memory, and focus. Sphingomyelin, another phospholipid that's part of cell membrane structure, shown to benefit gut health and aid with lipid metabolism. And brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, benefiting cognitive function and mood and preventing neurodegenerative diseases. Honestly, the brain was a great one to open up with because it demonstrates just how unique and complex these organ meats can be. And beef brain in particular, I'm going to put in the B tier.
Why only in the B? Huh? Whatever. Oh, then he starts with other brains. What's the point of comparing the brains of different animals? At the end of the day, they are pretty much the same.
Lamb brain is a high-calorie organ meat with a solid micronutrient profile. It's even fattier than beef brain, having a roughly 3 to 2 to 1
Yeah, but that will always depend on what the animals are fed. You can't generally say that. You could look at some animals but not even realize that they were grain-fed, and then, for example, the lamb may be grass-fed. This is not something that should be compared, because if he says that you can get this and this much copper or B6 or whatever, what does it matter if another animal gets different food and has different levels of it? It's not as if these specific amounts is what you're gonna get from your animal. Some animals may have half of that, some may have double of that. It really just matters what's inside of it, because the amounts will always be different. And comparing different animals, especially such similar animals such as beef to sheep, is irrelevant. I'm just going to skip this, obviously.
Beef heart is an average caloried organ meat with a passable micronutrient profile. It's among the most protein.
What kind of photo does he use? This brown photo, as if the meat is old. Beef heart is red. It looks very appetizing. That photo looks horrible.
Dense meats on this list, while also being a solid source of vitamin B12, vitamin B2, copper, and iron. And heart specifically from grass-fed cows also contain DHA on top of other nutrients synonymous with red meat. The aforementioned carnosine, as well as creatine, a natural energy supplier to muscles, and taurine, a special amino acid with antioxidant benefits. What makes heart meat unique, though, is the presence of coenzyme Q10, which boosts energy production and heart health.
Yeah, that's what I always say. If you want a healthy and strong heart, eat heart, especially because of CoQ10, because you can find a lot of it in the heart.
Heart meat is often considered to be the best organ meat in terms of health, and it's generally considered to be one of the more palatable ones too. Overall, beef heart is...
Well, yeah, because it's a muscle, basically, which is why it's palatable, seeing as people are used to eating muscle meat. This is just something that you need to get used to. Children back in the day used to run up to the animals, which were slaughtered, of course, already, and they wanted to eat the liver so much. There's tons of reports about this. It just depends on how you grow up. I know from my own experience, and I've seen this with a lot of children from people where the families eat raw meat, that children are obsessed with liver. For example, they generally love raw meat. I'm talking about raw meat, not cooked liver. They just beg for liver all the time, seeing as liver is taste-wise very similar to chocolate. Not that that's why you want it, but that's the reason children beg for chocolate all the time. Really naturally, they want liver so much.
It's going to be the first resident of the top tier. Chicken heart is an average caloried organ meat with a unique micronutrient.
Again, irrelevant. Not gonna go through different animals. It's at the end of the day all the same.
Beef kidney is an average caloried organ meat, and kidney is consistently the second most microdense next to liver. It's among the best sources of protein per calorie and one of the...
Kidneys are all right. It depends on the animal and how old it is. When you get young animals, the kidneys taste really good. But again, it depends on what the animal eats and if they are medicated. Kidneys can taste pretty alright, but I hardly ever eat them. You would need to get it from young and very healthy animals. Then they are delicious.
The highest in selenium and vitamin B2 riboflavin, while being an excellent source of vitamin B12. Kidney is rich in carnosine and choline, as well as ergothioneine, an amino acid with antioxidant properties. While it may not seem like it at first glance, this is one of the most nutritious foods that I've ever talked about, and here it's going in the A tier. Beef liver is an average caloried organ meat with a ridiculous micronutrient profile. Livers in animals act as a storage organ.
Yeah, compare this to any vegetable or fruit. It makes zero sense because vegetables have nothing, essentially. A little bit of plant vitamin C and some plant versions of the B vitamins, which you would have to convert. So nothing. And some minerals, which are in the cellulose, the fiber. You can't break it open anyway to get to them. And then just look at liver. A total joke. It's crazy that you can Google the most nutritious foods and not find organs, especially liver. Yeah, some websites will show organs, most likely only liver to you, not even brain, kidney or anything. But what you will find is broccoli or something. But then when you look at it, there's nothing compared to organs. Just totally nothing at all.
For many nutrients, so yeah, it's a lot. Beef liver is the highest on this list of several nutrients. Copper, which is most known for red blood cell creation and the aiding of iron absorption. Vitamin B3, niacin, one of the metabolism vitamins that turns food into energy. Vitamin B6, which is crucial for the upkeep of your nervous and immune systems. And choline, a nutrient used for several brain functions.
Yeah, and when you look at all of this, I have already explained what all of these vitamins also do in my own videos, but then you can clearly see why people are sick today. For your nervous system, your immune health, why do people get sick all the time? Why are they easily irritated, anxious? When you look at what every nutrient does, and then you look at what over 90% of people suffer from, then you will right away see it. It's nutrient deficiencies, because most people on earth are sick because they are malnourished. And there's people out there who have written in my comments saying, what? Malnourished? What nutrient deficiencies? Who is nutrient deficient in America? Nobody. But then they don't even realize that all of the issues that these people have are because of nutrient deficiencies. They just really don't get it because they believe that as long as you eat a lot, you go to your McDonald's, Wendy's, and whatever you eat in that country. You stuff yourself full of grains and super overcooked meat where no B vitamins are left, like 1% of what used to be in there. And that's garbage meat anyway. And then you believe that you're well nourished. Then you get obese and fat, and that means that you're well nourished. No, if you're obese, you're malnourished. 100%. That's the reason you're obese. You cannot be obese if you're well nourished. Obesity and being underweight is the same thing as far as being nourished goes, micronutrient wise, and really also macronutrient wise. Yeah. Why do you think you overeat? Because you're malnourished. Eat liver and you're gonna automatically lose weight because you will be so nourished micronutrient wise. And look at any disease any of your family members have, and then look at what nutrients they're missing, what nutrients actually cause these problems. You will realize that 99% of Americans, in this case, because I'm talking about that country right now, are malnourished. Start eating organs, almost only organs, 99% of your diseases will go away. Then you will realize what's going on in your country. And that goes for over 90% of countries on Earth, except for some places in Africa.
Liver is also among the richest sources of true vitamin A, as well as vitamin B12.
I like that he says true vitamin A, because there only is one true vitamin A, and that's found in animal foods. There's no plants that have vitamin A. That's beta-carotene, which is a pigment, which you would have to convert, and humans cannot do that, according to studies and common sense, really, also.
Vitamin B2 and vitamin B5. And since it comes from a ruminant animal, you can expect it to provide other familiar compounds as well, notably carnosine, taurine, and conjugated linoleic acid.
Well, actually, it has every nutrient. Every piece of muscle meat also does. Blood also has every nutrient, but what he's pointing out are the nutrients which are found in liver, a lot in high doses.
Now, this is one of the few organs where I actually need to throw out a disclaimer related to nutrition. Liver can be overconsumed by the average individual due to very high copper and vitamin A contents, which...
No, there's no proof for this. Eat as much liver as you want to eat. Always listen to your body. I've never wanted to eat a lot of liver. I eat liver until I'm satiated, and that's it. My body tells me that's enough.
When the body has too much of these, can cause toxicity and lead to a...
No proof, absolutely a religious belief. Just go away. Because it's false. Show one proof of that. The only things that have been studied are vitamin A supplements. And when you give these fake toxic vitamins, which are not vitamins, to people, they accumulate and cause toxicity because they are toxic in the first place. There's never been one recorded case of anybody getting vitamin A toxicity from liver or any kind of other food. Just zero. So just don't talk this kind of nonsense. You're fear-mongering people about something that's religious.
Whole list of issues. Not that I think that's likely to happen. Overconsuming liver is difficult because it really doesn't taste good, but it may be the...
Oh my god, man. What a moron. Liver is basically the best tasting food on earth. Yeah, blood tastes also really good. You can argue about it, but it's in the top 3 for sure. If you get liver from a healthy animal that hasn't been medicated whatsoever and has been eating the natural food that it's supposed to their whole life, no matter how young or old the animal is, the younger the better, usually, the sweeter it will be. It's gonna taste like nothing you have ever tasted before. It's so amazing. I'm actually almost drooling just thinking about it right now. I will actually eat liver after this video. And that's how good it is. If you get liver from over 90 or 80% of places, depending on the country today, it's gonna be toxic. It's gonna be bitter. It's just gonna be blech.
Biggest nutrient powerhouse of all animal foods, beef liver is going straight to the top tier. Beef pancreas is a high-calorie organ meat with a solid micronutrient profile. It's notably pretty fatty, containing roughly twice as much saturated and monounsaturated as polyunsaturated fat. It's among the highest in phosphorus while containing a good vitamin B12 and vitamin B5 content, as well as, more uniquely, a relevant amount of vitamin C. Beef pancreas is a nutritious meat, no doubt, but it's nothing special.
Yes, and it's the real vitamin C, DHAA. Not the garbage you get from fruits and vegetables. It's the one that your body, if it could, would convert it to, the DHAA.
In the world of organs, and I'm going to put it in the B tier. Beef spleen is a lower-caloried organ meat with a distinct micronutrient profile. It's among the best sources of protein per calorie on this list, and it's the highest on this list of iron, which is used to make hemoglobin, a protein in your red blood cells that transports oxygen throughout the body, and vitamin C, ascorbic acid, an antioxidant that's also needed.
Not ascorbic acid, not the plant ascorbic acid. It's the oxidized, real version of vitamin C. I don't think that he understands this. And this is something that you could actually use for collagen synthesis, which is what he's writing there right now. Not the plant vitamin C. That's garbage. You can argue about the use of it, but overall, for you as an animal, it's not going to do very much. Spleen is one of the best tasting organs also. It tastes pretty similar to blood. Not really, but I guess that it's the one that tastes closest to blood. If you have anemia, eat spleen and you will be healed.
For collagen synthesis. It's also rich in vitamin B12, selenium, and copper. And spleens have unique peptides that stimulate immune function via white blood cells that help combat disease and infection. An unsuspectingly great meat, I'm going to put beef spleen in the A tier. Beef tripe is going to unceremoniously round out this amazing food group in the D tier.
The thing is that a lot of these parts of the animal haven't even been examined. They don't know what nutrients are inside because they just don't test them. That's it. That doesn't mean that they are bad.
So how do you feel right now to be in the presence of the most nutritious set of foods on Earth? Because you and I are both capable of pretending that that D tier is just not there. Oh, you don't see a D tier? Yeah, that's what I thought. Also, I don't really know if I can claim that it's actually the most nutrient-dense food group on Earth, but it sure feels...
What do you mean? You literally just proved it to us. Is there anything else that has more nutrients? No. So what the fuck, man? Jesus, just admit it.
Feels like it, doesn't it? These internal organs have very specific roles in the body, managing in some way or another everything we've discussed on this channel thus far. So you'd best believe they're going to be rich in the...
Yeah, exactly. And if these bodies of the animals have to fight toxicity, then the organs will get unhealthy and they will of course taste bad. You can easily tell by the taste alone, sometimes by the smell, and even by the looks of it. When it comes to bad liver, you will see it from the outside right away.
As raw components. There's no denying that they're a bit of an acquired taste, but when prepared...
No, again, it's not the problem. And cooked liver, for example, also doesn't taste good compared to raw liver. Everybody who eats liver says that raw liver tastes better. But again, if you eat it from unhealthy animals, yeah, you will never acquire the taste because it will always taste bad. Brain, for example, just tastes like eggs, essentially. It has a cholesterol-rich taste. If you would mix in brain in some kind of pudding or whatever you eat typically, you wouldn't even taste it. You wouldn't even know. Or you mix in brain with eggs. You would have no idea.
Properly, there's nothing on Earth like them. And if you're going to eat the flesh of the animal so casually, you might as well eat the rest of it while you're at it.
The video was pretty alright as far as listing the nutrients goes, explaining what the nutrients are used for, but saying that you can get nutrient toxicity, such as a vitamin A toxicity from liver, is straight up wrong. It has never been proven in any way. It's a completely religious belief. You can get toxicity from these organs if you eat toxic organs. That would be caused by actual toxins, poisons in the organs if you eat organs from unhealthy animals. That's a completely different story. Then you can get food poisoning from these organs, but you would right away taste if the organs are bad. If they are that bad, you would probably even see it from the outside. There's no need to even taste them then. And saying that it's an acquired taste is also wrong. For the same reason, if you eat it from unhealthy animals, yeah, of course, the organs will taste bad. If you eat grass-fed beef organs, and if these animals were never medicated in their whole life, these organs will taste like heaven. Try it. Thanks for watching.